Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, a few days ago, I had announced that I was going to be doing this segment starting this week with discussing some of the theories that you all have out there in the community, some that you all have been talking about, asking me questions about, my opinions. So, I thought it might be a cool little video to do once a week here on the YouTube channel, just to bring you all into the discussion a little bit, talk about your theories, talk about what's on your mind, and what I think about those things. So, we're going to start it off here with Athlin. I hope I'm saying that right. Athlin. This says, "Hey Ray, just had a thought. You think Kunsil is hiding Zach, and that's why he was mentioned at all? As far as you mean, as far as like why Kunsil was mentioned or whatever? I've seen a lot of people, and I think like characters like, and thank you for putting that up there, Athlin. I think characters like Zach, I mean not Zach, he is a infinitely important character. I think characters like Kunsil and Cisne, however you say her name from Crisis Core, and various other characters that don't have much to do with the central characters. Now I know Kunsil was Cloud's buddy when they were hanging out and stuff back when he was just a regular grunt with Shinra. But I really don't think these characters are going to have a whole lot of sway, a whole lot of importance going forward. I think they'll be like, if they're in there, they're going to be like quest givers, and they'll be plot devices, right? They're not going to be very important. They're just going to be kind of plot devices. Now, I could absolutely be wrong about that. I don't think in the grand scheme of things, these minor characters we've seen throughout the compilation are going to have a very big role, if much at all. Could Kunsil be hiding Zach? Possibly, maybe. But I don't know. I think if he had a role with Zach, I think it could have been something like helping Zach escape. You know what I mean? Helping Zach escape Shinra again once he was, recaptured in Midgar, once he made it to Midgar with Cloud. That's my theory, that Zach was recaptured and has since escaped when he was going to be disposed of or whatever, But yeah, I think if Kunsil has anything to do with Zach at all, because I would think Zach is like a rogue at this point. He's either with Avalanche or he's off doing his own thing. I think that would be the role that Kunsil had with Zach, was that he helped him escape or something like that. Alright, so the next comes from StarKing82, who is a frequent commenter on the channel. I really appreciate the comments and the likes and all that kind of stuff. But says, I have a question about Chapter 17. I thought this was good. I'd meant to mention this before, and I've forgotten to mention it every time because there's so much to talk about. But this is good. That's why I brought it up. I have a question about Chapter 17. The scene in Aerith's room. When the Whispers appear, is Aerith speaking primarily to the Whispers or to the rest of the party and the Whispers? I may be wrong, but at first it seems odd. Okay. I think she's talking to the Whispers, and then she kind of begins to talk to everybody. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I caught that the first time I played through it. I was like I thought the dialogue was just a little wonky, but then the second time I played through it on hard mode, I was like, oh, I think she's talking directly to the Whispers, So I thought that was interesting. That was a good catch. That was a good question. I appreciate you throwing that out there. All right, so last one we'll cover today is Frederick Dalal. He is another serial commenter. He's always commenting on the stuff, liking the stuff. So I really appreciate it, Frederick. And this one here, I wanted to address just because I am getting ready to put out my full theory video on this character. Now, I've had time to think about it and where it's going and everything, but he says, another great theory, but I'm interested to know where Genesis fits into all of this. All of your recent theory videos don't include Genesis anywhere. We know Cloud, Aerith, and Sephiroth are the three main characters involved in the destiny of the planet, but Genesis, I believe, is going to be a huge factor into the destiny as well. Destiny of the planet. You mentioned that Sephiroth has full control over the Whispers and now can manipulate Destiny, but I think Genesis is going to have some words to say before it's all done. LOL. I'm glad you brought that up. There is a... Genesis is going to have a huge, humongous role, and I know everybody doesn't want to hear it. Sometimes truth hurts, people. Sometimes the truth hurts. I've said before, I've said many times in every video I've talked about Genesis, I think the concept of that character of Genesis is fantastic. Kind of this antithesis to Sephiroth. If Sephiroth is dark side, then Genesis is kind of, well, let's bring it down to a more base level. If Sephiroth is like Lex Luthor, right, got a plan and control, then Genesis is the Joker, right? So he's the wild card in this thing. I think that's why, you know, he's going to be in the spot that he's in. But I hope they fix his character a little bit. You know, always quoting Loveless, always, you know, just, you know, he's one of these the beauty of battle kind of characters. It's done to death. I'm sick of it. Almost everybody's sick of that type of character. You know, make him crazy. Like, okay, so I'll give you all a little taste of what I'm talking about with Genesis. I'm not going to go full spoiler in depth, but if I think crazy Genesis would be awesome. I think Nuts lost his mind, has seen way too much Genesis, is like, that would be a cool direction to go with that character. He has, as I've said in videos before, I'm not trying to give too much away because I don't want this video to become a Genesis theory video, but I will say real quick that Genesis has seen a lot, and I think he saw it first. I think Genesis, when he was denied entry into the live stream, was basically sent back to his body after he got beat by Zack in Crisis Core. In the books, and I forget which story it is, but they talk about that, like, you know, when you come into contact with the live stream, you have this come to your maker moment where you're like, oh man, like it's like being plugged into the Matrix mainframe, right? And like seeing all this stuff. It's like, you know, out of body experience, like having the knowledge of the ages poured into your head. I think that's what happened to Genesis. And because he's conscious afterward, but he's changed in Crisis Core, if you remember. Like, he's not the same dude he was. There's like something has changed about him, you know. If you go back, and you don't have to play it again, I would encourage you to play it again, because Crisis Core gets kind of shit on a lot, and it's a good game. It's a good game. The battle system takes to get used to, but it's a good game. Or if you don't want to play it, go watch some stuff on YouTube, some cutscenes in the order that they happen, because, you know, the few scenes he has after he's beaten, he has changed. So I think he's the first one to discover the whole cyclical time loops or whatever winds up going on. My theory may not be correct, but I feel like it's a good path. He has to be the one, I think, that has told Sephiroth about what's going down. I think Genesis can probably communicate with the planet in the live stream now. He's been to the live stream. Minerva sent him back, but he's been to the live stream, right? So I think he's going to be the one that started this whole thing with Sephiroth this time around. Anyway, Frederick, thank you for that. I do want to get more into that, and I'm going to get more into that. I kind of have to write down my bullet points a little bit better, fine-tune some things, but I do want to get to that. Maybe next week I'll get to that. But anyway, if you all, you know, I'm doing the podcast now, and the first episode drops tomorrow, and I'm talking about a few different things, some subjects, but if there's ever anything you all want to hear me talk about, gaming-wise related, storytelling related, animation related, anything like that, feel free to put a comment. I'll look at the YouTube comments for the different videos I post. You can also send me a DM or something on Twitter, at Kaufman20XX. Follow me on there. Anybody who's like a follower on my Twitter and you send me messages and things like that, I'm going to do my utmost, my best to get to those. So, and all of you Patreon members, if you all have questions, I'm going to be doing a mailbag segment for the podcast. It's not this week, but starting next week, I'll be doing that mailbag segment. If there's anything you all want me to answer on air, I'll be happy to do it. So anyway, I'm going to cut it off there. You all have a great day. Keep rocking. More content always coming, of course. And I'll be streaming tonight, most likely, for Ghost of Tsushima. So y'all take care. Be safe out there. Be good to each other. And I'll see you all in the next video.